Another profitable Sunday, guys. Another profitable weekend. Sunday wasn't as dominant as the undefeated ones last couple of weeks. Still doing 2 in 1 day with a pair of dogs. And NBA conference finals are now set. John and I will get into that a little bit about the bet we didn't make over the weekend, which is just also one of those things. Sometimes it's not about the bets you make. Sometimes it's about the bets you don't make. We'll dive into that a little bit deeper. But John, first, how's the weekend? Conference finals set. Just any immediate thoughts on that?
We got rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. Heat, Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
This time, Heat are a little healthier coming in. Obviously, without Tyler Hero, though. Which Tatum do we get? The one that had 2 dog games in Game 2 of 6, or the one that scored the most Game 7 points ever? Who gets hot? That's what this one's about. Obviously, Boston's the better team. Do we get playoff Jimmy? Playoff Jimmy played in the first round against Milwaukee. Second round, he was really good. He was Jimmy Butler, though. First round, he was playoff Jimmy. We'll go over those stats a little bit later, but that's what that'll all come down to in the Lake of Denver series, the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Laker team that started 2-10. Look where they are now. I mean, hottest team since the All-Star break. These are the 2 best teams now in the West. Had my doubts with Denver coming after they finished slow in the regular season, but this is what happens when you get that big lead. It's just that natural maturation to come back to the norm, similar to what we're seeing with Tampa Bay. Red hot, unrealistic 800 winning percentage. It's not sustainable, and you come back a little bit. St. Louis Cards, the opposite.
Yeah.
They lose 8, 9, 10 in a row. They couldn't win a game. We talked about it. The shops were betting them every day because they have them rated better than their record was. Now they've turned it around. They've won 6 of their last 7. But we're going to bet against them today. We'll talk more about that later. Same thing with the Heat. First round. They were out of their minds shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, without their best 3-point shooter, Tyler Hero, scoring 124 a game. And Jimmy Butler, about 37 a game. He was out of his mind. Again, playoff Jimmy. There has to be a little drawback. And again, we go back to Tatum. 2 awful games. Celtics still wind up winning those 2 games that he played terrible in. So obviously, when he has a monster game, they're supposed to blow Philly out. Embiid basically in no-show. I thought Ben came up with a picture of Embiid's face on a milk carton. We'll be sharing that later. So we got some great ones going out. I don't have a bet in either of these 2 games. We talked about it a little bit about the Denver Lakers series because that was already set by Friday. My number's 5. So the game has ticked up a little bit. There's 5.5 and even 6 in a couple of spots. Bet Online, which is a real spot, being one of them. So Denver's getting a little of the early money. Celtics opened 8. I think that was a little high. Wasn't enough for me to jump in. And that's pretty much all 7.5 now. So a little tick down on the Heat, little tick up on Denver. Denver, like I said, right there, 5. So we got no opinion on that one. Heat, I could see it's got to be Heat or nobody at that 8 points. But one of the stats I will throw at you, Celtics, all 8 victories in the playoffs this year are all by 8 points or more. So there goes that, if you're betting the favorite, bet the favorite and lay the points. If you pick the dog, just bet the money line because the points haven't come into play. We'll get those stats for you also. But let Ben take a crack at the NBA. We'll talk more about those games tomorrow and Wednesday because there's no NBA tonight.
Yeah, no NBA tonight. Very excited for that Lakers-Denver rematch from the bubble. Obviously, this Denver team a bit more reconstructed. Really just excited to see Anthony Davis versus Jokic. If he's going to be the man who can slow down Jokic, if that's the case, it's going to be a great series. A little worried, though, about LeBron and AD playing 4 games possibly in the altitude. That's a couple of guys, a lot of injuries, a lot of concern. Definitely don't want them having any extra factors. So we'll see how it goes. Excited for that series. 7-4, though. No bet in that Game 7 yesterday with the Celtics and the 76ers, and that was a good no bet. All the sharp action was coming in on Philly in that game, bet it all the way down to 6. And like you said, when they have won, they have covered all their games. And that was just one of those instances where they took care of business. But all the sharp action was on Philly last night. And as the preview stated, with some of those reasons, like you mentioned, John, as far as the officials and then also just Doc Rivers' success in Game 7. John, I don't know if you're interested in the coaching job in Philly, but I think it might be available.
There's a lot of coach jobs. Look, we've already talked about it. Bucks have already they've already got rid of Bullheiser. Like, this is the NBA. What have you done for me lately? Monty Williams, Phoenix Suns, 2 coach of the years. Goodbye. See, you couldn't get it done with KD and Booker. What have you done for me lately? But getting back to the Nugget Philly game, the Philly Celtic game yesterday. Our numbers, if you're how to beat the bookie member and you went by our ratings, you saw that we did not make it that high. And that 7 should have been a take for us. But again, other things. Again, okay, our ratings case is our starting point. But that's why I wrote the preview if you read it the way I did. Philly's got a 2-point lead in Game 6. With the ball, Harden misses a 3. From that point on, Celtics go on a 14-3 run. Disheartening isn't the word. As I had said previously, now Philly's got to go to Boston and beat them for the 3rd time in Boston. Tall order. That Foster's Scott Foster, the referee, his record for the home teams against the spread, 38-20. The home teams have covered in his games. Doc Rivers, unsuccessfulness in Game 7. All these other factors. And like I said, the factor of Embiid wearing down as the series could go on. Look, this guy gave it a valiant effort, but we also had talked about it. Go look at what Embiid's doing. And you brought up Joker. 11 games for Joker. Now, here in the playoffs, 30.7 points per game on 54.9% shooting, 12.8 rebounds, 9.7 assists. They know Detroit Pistons. You know what I mean? There's no Charlotte Hornets. These are the playoffs. These are his numbers in the playoffs. AD, one of the best bigs around, defenders. That's going to tell you matchup right there. Great series. But, Philly, the numbers said but Philly. Everything else said Celtics were to play. That left us in no man's land. And, okay, good thing. We'll take the no bet on that one. We want an edge. It's got to be both with the points and the spot. When those two collide, and they've collided on a baseball bet tonight, and we'll talk about that once we get started with baseball.
Yeah, a lot of baseball games today that we have an edge in, a lot of action across the board, a lot of games to like. And we can start here with this first one on the court. Monday, typically a travel day. Most of these teams going to be bouncing around. Either they're on the first game of the series or they're on the last of one. This Mets-Nationals game is a carryover from the weekend. They played 2 games yesterday, continued the game from Saturday. Nats win that first game. Mets come back and they crush them in the second game. Peterson versus Corbin today. Peterson has just been brutal. 21 runs and 19 1/3 in his last 4 starts. Really tough to back that, especially as a road favorite. And then Corbin, he's been solid. 4 of his last 5 starts been quality starts. This is home dog and the Nats or nothing. I mean, Peterson is just pretty much unbackable out of this Mets rotation.
There's nothing to talk about. I actually sent this out last night. One of the bets I sent out last night, and I actually sent it out by mistake. I sent out Nationals plus 120. When that was what I made the line, it should be Nationals plus 140. I sent the correction out today. The Mets scored 8 runs in 1 inning yesterday. They only scored 1 run the entire rest of the day. So 17 innings, they scored in 2 of the innings. The Mets are horrific right now. 3-8 their last 11 road games, 6-14 their last 20. Peterson is pitiful. Corbin pitching good. Home dog, it's a no-brainer, especially on getaway day. Wouldn't be surprised if some guys got a day off. Lindor, Alonso, I believe also McNeil. Is it McNeil? I know 3 of the Mets have not had a day off yet this season. This is a perfect spot after a doubleheader. Day game today, getaway day. I would expect somebody to get a break. We'll see, especially how bad they are. What the hell? Just you might as well sit them anyway. Whether they play, whether they don't. No way could Peterson. There's no way Peterson can be this big a favorite over. I get the Nationals a dog team at home, but Corbin's been pitching good enough. Mets playing terrible. Peterson pitching terrible. I got the Nationals.
Yeah, Mets next series with Tampa Bay Rays, so even more further reason possibly for them to rest some guys. Next one, we have Brewers at St. Louis. Man, this Cardinals team, like you said earlier, completely flipped it around, winning 6 of their last 7. They've been hitting hard balls all year, but now they're starting to drop a little bit. Arenado got hot this weekend in Boston. That Boston series really messed with my head because Sox, they have leads in the 9th inning, both Friday, Saturday, blowing both Kenley Jansen.
Pockets.
Yeah. And then on Sunday, I thought for sure we were going to see Boston coming for the revenge game after blowing 2 leads late. Credit to Mikola's giving them a good start. But Cardinals, man, playing pretty good. Peralta versus Flaherty today. Flaherty has not been pitching well. Peralta's coming off 3 quality starts. He's been solid, has pretty solid numbers against the Cards. This is a tough game, tough divisional matchup, but pitching edge definitely go to Peralta at a line that's a PK. Cards coming off the night game, John, would be the lean to the Brewers for me.
That's big for me. It's always that Sunday night game coming off that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely turned it totally around. This is a 360. But now they come back home. They haven't been great at home. Flaherty has been terrible. His last start, if you look at it, 3 runs over 5 innings, just say not terrible. Gross. But 7 hits, and he walked 5 batters. The 2 outings before that, he gives up, he gave up 15 runs in 7 innings. Peralta, totally the opposite, pitching his best ball of the year. So 2 pitchers going in different directions. Cards coming off that tough Sunday night game. That's always a tough game to get ready. Milwaukee, obviously, they're done playing their game of the day. They swept the hapless KC team, but they put some runs on the board. They put 9 on the board yesterday. Gotta like the Brewers in this one. I love this spot. Peralta over. It's like I said, it's that Peralta pitching great, Flaherty pitching terrible. Cardinals, yes, they've turned it around, but come off that Sunday night game. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers in this one.
Yeah, Brewers turned it around in that series with KC as well. Won 3 straight, scoring 6 runs per game. We'll see if that continues. Then it's Cincy at Colorado. Green versus Seabold. Green's really not a guy I want to back in Coors Field. Throws really hard, can be wild sometimes. But, man, if he's off, he's off. He gives up the long ball a lot. Not a place you want to be giving up the long ball, especially with guys on board. Seabold, he's been decent. They've won both his starts. He's allowed 4 runs in 10 innings, giving them some quality outings. I would be lean here to Colorado in the home dog, not loving it. Don't love backing Seabold, but he has been solid. I can't back Green in this ballpark. Just had disaster written all over it.
Can't back Green anywhere on the road. Cincy 2-14 his last 16 road starts. And yeah, Colorado's the last place you want to be if you're going to put men on base to walk. Look, he's been great for the. I'm going to say great. He's been really good for the last 5 starts. But yeah, just don't want to go. His 1 start in Colorado last year gives up 4 runs and 4 1/3. You know, Colorado will be without their leading home run hitter and RBI guy Crone. He'll hit the IL. And Friedel, who leads Cincy in batting, he missed the whole Marlins series. He's still questionable. A bigger number, it's Colorado and nobody for me. I don't have a bet in this one yet, though.
Then it's Phillies at Giants. Weird little start here for Wood. So he had the injury, comes back off the IL, goes to the bullpen, goes an inning, and now he's going to be making his first start since April 18th. Then you have Falter going for the Phillies. He's been horrible, 13 runs off 20 hits in 14 innings. His last 3 starts. You do have some pretty good matchup history for San Francisco. They won 5 of the 6 meetings last year, 7 of the last 8 meetings in San Francisco. Matchup history favors the Giants here. You could argue a pitching edge. Don't love backing a guy who's getting his first start in a little while, but it still does have the pitching edge over Falter. It's Giants or nobody, but just a weird game, not worth the price.
Yeah, Giants, they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings, 7 of the last 8 in Frisco, but Wood is basically going to be used as an opener today. I don't think they'll let him go more than through the lineup once. He just pitched Friday in relief. So only a couple of days of rest. He'll get a little work. That's about it. So really can't give him the pitching edge. But Falter, he's been terrible lately. 13 runs, 20 hits over 14 innings. So don't want to back that. Also going to wait on the news to see about Harper. The little dust up in Colorado yesterday. Harper coming out of the dugout, charging to the Rocky side of the field. We'll see if they take any action against him. If they suspend him or anything, just nobody in this one. I got so many other bets. This one, nothing on it yet.
John, mark this date down, May 15th, Angels at Orioles, Rendon headed to the IL, and this is going to be that typical spring downfall here from the Angels. Gets the first injury to the IL, and then they're at 500 right now. They're 21-20, and here comes the downfall of the summer. I just have that feeling it's about to be due. Maybe they change it this year, but this is right on schedule for what they're typically doing. Ohtani versus Rodriguez. Ohtani, he is coming off a quality start, still gave up 3 runs in 7 innings. Prior to that, gave up 9 runs in 11 innings, 2 prior starts. Hasn't been as lights out as he was start of the year. And Rodriguez, they've been pretty good. They've won his last 6 starts. He held Tampa to 2 runs in 5 2/3, and his last time out was cracked for KC. Prior to that, 2 shutouts against Detroit. This is home dog or nobody for me. Ohtani did not have good history at Baltimore. Granted, it was 2 years ago. Still not the best history at Baltimore. And Orioles still up there on top of the AL right now. So O's or nobody for me.
Yeah, I'll agree. Orioles are nobody. I just want to get a bigger number than what this is. It's still Ohtani pitching. And yes, Rendon is out. Orioles, they've won 8 of the last 9 meetings, including the last 6 in Baltimore. Everything says Orioles, but let's not sell Ohtani short. Before those couple of rough starts that he had been absolutely lights out. Bigger number, Orioles are nobody. Just not jumping on Rodriguez bandwagon so fast. Remember, Orioles, they sat Rutschman and Mateo yesterday. They got blanked by the Pirates. Keller, this guy, when he's on, he's on. He's turning it around a little for Pittsburgh this year. But Orioles batting just .219 this week, coming up against Ohtani. That doesn't tell me they're going to put a lot of runs on the board. I need a bigger number than plus 115 to take a shot against Ohtani.
Then the Yankees at Toronto. Yankees, they get their groove back on the homestand. They win 5 of 7. They're hitting up to 280 this week, scoring 7.5 runs per game. They split the 4-game set with Tampa, but it's putting up runs in each game in that series. And then you have the Blue Jays coming off a sweep against Atlanta. They've been great at home. Second best home record in the major leagues, 12-3. Right now it's going to be Cordero as an opener here for the Yankees. It's going to be Manoah for Toronto. Manoah owns the Yankees, and maybe this is what he needs. He had 7 shutout innings against them earlier this year, but outside of that, he's been pretty rough. Been really bad at home, 0-1, 7.71 in 3 home starts. This is Yankees or nobody. Bats are going well. Manoah struggling at home. Don't want to break the necessarily ownership there with him, but definitely leans to Yankees in this game.
Yeah, look, Manoah, he was a stud last year. Having the same good fortune this year, but don't want to get behind the Yankees in an opener in this one and what might be a bullpen game. I still want to find out if Brito is going to follow. We initially had Brito as the starting pitcher, so waiting to see if Cordero is just going to be the opener. Not enough information on that one. Yanks, it's simple. Judge comes back in the lineup, they start to hit. But if you guys remember, we were giving the stats every day as if you had to beat the bookie member in the previews. Yankees are batting 200, Yankees are batting 196 without Judge in the lineup. Judge back in the lineup again. He makes everybody better. Everybody gets better pitches to look, even if he's just walking. If he's walking, the guys in front of him, guys behind him, all getting better pitches to look. So Yankees hitting the ball, just couldn't keep up with Tampa Bay. Yesterday, they took a split. They swept the hapless A's team. So are they lighting the world on fire just yet? No, but they're hitting better. Let's see what happens today up in Toronto. As Ben said, only Tampa Bay's got a better record in baseball at home than Toronto. A big 3-game sweep. But Yankees have had good fortune up in Toronto. They've won 11 of their last 15 trips to Toronto, 6 of 9 last year. Again, waiting to see more about the pitching status.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of bad blood there as well within the last season or so between them. So we'll see how that continues. Next game we have here on the card is Mariners at Red Sox. I really want to bet the Red Sox in this spot today. It's just tough. I mean, they're coming off this series where they lose 3 to St. Louis. They've now dropped 5 of 6. The bats have slowed down. It's Houck versus Kirby. Kirby has been great. He's coming off 7 shutout innings against Texas. He's had 6 straight quality starts. I mean, he leads the MLB in K-walk ratio. You can't really ask for much more. And then Houck, he was better his last start against Philly, 3 runs in 5 2/3. He has had a little bit of struggles. Did have 3 outings last year against the M's, 6 shutout innings. Mariners playing better right now. They're 6-1 their last 7 road games. They won 2 of 3 in that last series against Detroit. Just tough here. Boston is a home dog, slight lean there. They own the matchup a little bit. they just went cold. So don't want to buck them going cold here. Don't want to buck the ownership either. Tough game all around. Lean to the Sox.
Yeah, no, Boston. Kirby's pitched great, great. But Boston, they had his number last year. But they get him in both starts, 10 runs with 4 homers in 10 innings. So that's tough to want to go against that trend also. Boston, as you said, not playing well. And even with Boston smashing Kirby last year, just a big pitching edge, big pitching advantage over Houck. But on the other hand, as bad as Houck's been, he actually threw 6 shutout innings, albeit in different appearances against the Mariners last year. Coming off that Sunday night game, Mariners coming off a loss again. A loss actually that we bet against them. We took the Tigers yesterday. He's a big 170 dog. Value is there. It's a small favorite on the road, just where I think the line should be. No edge in this one.
We have Braves at Rangers. Braves coming off losing 4 in a row, the last 3 at Toronto. Then you have this Rangers team. They come in beating up on Oakland, won the last 2 in the series. They won 7 of 9, scoring 6.6 runs per game. Atlanta still league best, 15-6 on the road, even after getting swept. Then it's Morton versus Bradford on the mound. Morton's been good. 4 of his last 5 starts have been quality starts. He has allowed 6 runs across 11 1/3 in the last 2, though, so a little bit more banged up. And he does have a little bit of road struggles. Hasn't been as bad as last year yet, but starting to get there as far as the road struggles. And then we have a debut with Bradford for Texas. Really good AAA numbers, sub-1 ERA, 37 Ks, 13 walks, pretty much all you could ask for there out of AAA. Lean here to Texas. I mean, home dog, team that leads the MLB in scoring and getting their little tune-up after the Oakland series. Can they continue it against Atlanta? We'll see. But definitely Morton on the road and this Braves team right now. Got some value in that Toronto series. I see some value here with Texas as well.
Yeah, look, I've got Rangers just rated higher than the line makers, and that's all there is to it. Of course, there's 2 bets over the weekend. Like I said, they came up with ridiculous numbers with Texas over Oakland. Texas, the highest scoring team in the league. Oakland, the worst home team in baseball. We got pitched out. I'll just touch on that. Guys, I always bet listed pitches, money line with listed pitches. I don't bet the runs. I don't bet action. I had a couple of our guys I saw in the chat. They bet action, and they gave their bets up on Saturday, which I told them, look, my bets are automatically canceled. I don't have a choice because I'm betting listed pitches. But if you have a bet in, and the pitchers went from Sears to who the hell did it go to? Who pitched it? Caprillion. So Caprilion's the worst pitcher than Sears. There's no reason to get rid of your bet. So I had some guys saying that they gave up their bet, whatever they did. And then we get pitched out again. Yes. Anyway, the point is my number on Texas just much higher than what the line makers are. They're shorting them. They've been shorting them every day since last week. If you guys remember, we bet Texas with Perez on the mound. Who were they playing? Is it
Angels?
Was it Angels that they were playing?
Yep.
Yes, big pitcher, which against Suarez.
Yep.
Big pitching mismatch with Perez on the mound. So they've had Texas as undervalued as far as I'm concerned every day for over a week. They have it again today. This kid Bradford, granted, AAA numbers, but we're talking 0.91 ERA, 0.86 whip. These are real nice numbers. Now, Braves destroy left-handed pitchers to the tune of, I believe, 316. Whatever, get that stat for us, Ben. But
312.
And crush left-hand batters, but they're ice cold right now. Now, as soon as this line opened up, boom, all the Brave money come in, similar to what was going on with the Cardinals when they were in their losing streak. They got to win one. They got to win one. They got to win one. Yeah, they do got to win one. Doesn't mean they got to turn it around that day. And that's my feeling here. You're going to give me the highest scoring team in the league against a pitcher that's not as good on the road, okay, against a kid that looks like he's capable in AAA. Don't know if he's going to get the job done to those numbers, but looks capable. I'll take the home dog in that one, and we took Texas.
Yep, Texas been hot.
Let me throw in that they very possible to get Seager back. He finished his rehab assignment, so just a matter of seeing if he'll clear everything. If he does, their best hitter, I feel, Seager will be in the lineup. And I just to throw it back, we're just getting a change now. It looks like Philly is going to change their pitcher. We'll bring you more of that as soon as it comes.
All right, so we'll keep you guys posted there. Next game on the card is Cubs at Astros. Tejon versus Valdez. Cubs have lost all 5 of his starts since returning with a groin issue. He has given up 8 runs in 5 2/3. Not good. Valdez, what else do you expect? 7 straight quality starts. Last 2, 3 runs in 14 innings. He's just doing what he does. It's a big price here for Houston, who really hasn't been playing that well. They're under 500 at home, just 8-11. Would be looking here to go against an Astros team fighting group, but my goodness, this Cubs team let me down in Minnesota. Last 2 games, they get crushed 27-4. They get crushed on Saturday. I thought we were going to see them with Stroman on the bump yesterday, come back with some life. Opposite happened, just got smoked again. And I can't back this Cubs team right now, even with this big price.
Overlay, it's too big. The number's too big, but there's no way I want to buck. I'm not going to tell you on with a struggling Cubs team.
Mm-hmm.
2-8, their last 10 on the road. Again, you want to bet against them, against Houston. They're just not scoring. There's just no punch in that lineup right now. Okay, just getting a note there. But yeah, just no reason to bet the Cubs, who really mightily struggling on the road with a pitcher that's not getting the work done against Valdez, who you put him in there for a quality start today. You're going to get a quality start out of him. So, anyway, yeah, no reason to bet it, even though it's an overlay.
Yeah, I know you can. Some people I think Brasco is the one who likes to do this a lot, where you bet a team. Say you can bet the Astros and you bet them to win, and Valdez gets the pitching win as well. And instead of being minus 210, you get minus 110 or whatever the hell. So maybe that's a way you guys could go about that game. Next one, D-backs at A's, and this is a favorite worth laying here in Arizona today. Rusniski, who was scratched yesterday, just been miserable. 17 runs in 14 1/3 his last 3 starts. And Kelly, he gave up 4 runs his last start to the Marlins. Prior to that, very good. Couple of quality starts. He's just been great on the road. 2-0, 1.15 ERA in 3 starts. This is Arizona or nobody. Can't back Rusniski. Not against Kelly. Even the big home dog price. Not entertained by it. I think it's worth the lay of the run line in this game.
Yeah, favorite. Even the shops are all over this one. They just laid the favorite. And yeah, this game should be a plus over 200. That's what I made it. Only thing you got here is they didn't meet last year, but A's have won the last 6 meetings. Again, not this current Diamondback team, but you go back to 2021 and 2020, and they've won the last 6. But this is a different A's team. This is a historically bad team. That's why I have a historically bad team, the A's, playing against a Texas team that I've got rated higher than the line makers, and that's why very rarely you see me on favorites. That was where you're going to see me on favorites. Against Oakland. They just don't have this team bad enough. I mean, they're bad. They're historically bad. The pitching staff is terrible. Sears, who was their Mason was just before going on the IL, I guess was their ace. These allergies again, but Sears was lit up less. Yeah, look, they're that bad a team that I don't mind laying a 50, 60, 70 cent if the matchup is right on the road. We laid it with Perez. Bad break Friday night. Friday would have been a slaughter. We would have been 4-1. Texas got a 2-run lead, 7-5 when they go to extra innings. Blow that game. Come back with Texas the next 2 days. Get pitched out because of there's one of those weekends that just happens. We'll get it back. But Diamondbacks are nobody. No interest in taking the A's at a tremendous home dog.
As bad as it is that the Houston Astros are an overlay, how about this overlay with the Padres? Massive price against Kansas City. Padres now have dropped 5 straight, scoring 2 runs per game, hitting $180 this week. Then you have Kansas City coming off a sweep. They got swept at Milwaukee, scored 3.3 runs per game, 6-13 on the road this year. Keller versus Waka. Keller's been good in 2 of his last 3 starts, allowing 1 run in 5 innings. He does lead the majors in walks, has been struggling with the command a little bit, but in the last couple of those starts, hasn't given up as many of the big hits with that. And then Walker, he's been better. He's coming off 2 quality starts, 1 run in 12 innings, had a quality start versus Casey last year, just the home struggles, 6+ ERA and 3 home starts. Padres not hitting, so I don't know if it matters who's up there on the mound there for Kansas City. Not hitting, not getting it done. Disgusting price here. Kansas City all the way.
Here's another game like Atlanta. Susan came out. They're all over San Diego, like they're giving, like the books are giving the money away. Padres 5 straight losses, averaging 2 a game. They're batting 179 this week for the year. 201 with runners in scoring position. I am embarrassed. Last year when they made the trade for Soto. We were talking about how the Padres, once they had Tatis back, would be the best lineup in baseball. Not even close. You look down that lineup, getting Bogus from the Red Sox. That lineup has got to hit. There's no reason that it's almost ridiculous. But the stats are what the stats are. This team cannot be a 200 and better favorite the way they're hitting the ball right now. They lost 5 straight. There's really no pitching edge. Walker's pitched better the last couple. Keller was pitching real good. Ran into some control problems. Little better the last time out, but just can't give no kind of not a big enough edge to make a struggling, and I mean struggling, San Diego team a 200 or better favorite against Kansas City. I go, yeah, I get it. They're a better team. They just got swept. They got to win a game. This is the chicken soup. And all those things are true. And if the line was 170, I understand. Not at 200, and now it's up to as high as 210.
Yeah, the Kansas City going into that weekend series with Milwaukee said the same thing. Brewers, they need to kind of get right. That was their get right series. I just don't have faith in this Padres team to get right now against Kansas City. So maybe they do. They should. Just don't have the faith in it.
Worth the take. Worth the price. They might pound them 11-2 tonight. But just that they don't belong to be this big a favorite. Actually, now as high as 215 at a few spots. Crazy.
Ridiculous. Last game on the card, Twins at Dodgers. Dodgers on the matchup, won the last 10, last 4 last year, combined 32-10. Dodgers come in red hot. They've won 5 straight. They're 13-2 their last 15. Bats had to cool down a little bit, hitting just 217 this week, but hitting with runners in scoring position, and they got the long ball still going for them. Twins, they come in off 2 massive wins against the Cubs we mentioned. Lopez versus Syndergaard on the mound. Lean here to the Dodgers in this game. Syndergaard's been solid at home. 3 of his 4 home starts have been quality starts. And Lopez, he's coming off 2 quality starts. He's been better, 3 runs in 13 1/3. Had a good outing against the Dodgers last year with a quality start. Just this game is pretty much almost at a PK. We're looking at -112, -110 here with the hottest team in baseball. Dodgers are nobody there. It's Dodgers and nobody.
Well, the reason that number is so low is the Twins went absolutely berserk the last couple of days. With 27 on the board. They were dead last in hitting in just about all the departments, but they go crazy on the Cubs. Now they come in here. Now we talked, Ben, to give you a stat. I just want to go through this one sec. So Dodgers have won 10 in a row. But I made a note in the previews. This is dating back to 2014. So, yeah, all 4 last year. And that will take into account because they absolutely slaughtered them. What did you say there was? They outscored them 32-10. But when we reach back to 2014 for stats, we just put them up there. So we had a little talk with one of the guys in the chat says, because we went with Toronto game 1 against Atlanta, which they won. The Blue Jays swept that series. Game 2, we turned it around and came with Atlanta, just like the spot. And after taking a 2-0 lead, we wound up losing that game. So I had one of the Monday morning quarterbacks in the chat saying, must have missed that the Blue Jays had won 8 or 9, whatever it was. And I was like, no, I wrote that they had won 7 in a row. But they didn't play last year. So when you skip an entire year, I give less weight to those 1-7 in a row, 1-10 in a row. So that's why I'm just making a note here. So Dodgers won all 4 last year and destroyed them. That means something. But winning 10 in a row dating back to 2014, that means a little bit less. Yeah, the Dodgers turned it around. 2 problems here. A, Syndergaard pitches 1 inning and leaves with a cut on his finger. B, coming off the San Diego sweep, is there a little bit of a letdown? Syndergaard's been absolutely horrible on the road, better at home. It's Dodgers or nobody, don't get me wrong, but throw those things together with Twins putting 27 runs on the board. Just not enough to make me lay it. There's been a little Dodger money. This game is sitting at 115 now. Lower, minus 110, lower. It would be Dodgers or nobody. Just not enough interest. I'll wait to see the lineups in this one.
That's the MLB card today, guys. Nice little Monday slate. Obviously, NBA is ticking down, but we will have some conference finals breakdowns throughout the week as those series get picking up. Good weekend, good week last week, another winning week. John, you got anything else? We got a nice little Monday here, a lot of action.
We want to get started on the right foot here. Like as Ben said, NBA running down, guys. NBA is my thing. Nobody beats the numbers in the NBA like I do in the regular season. The playoffs is a little bit of a different animal. Everybody knows who's playing. Those, especially the teams that you're going to a game 7. They just met 6 times. Every stat has been divulged, and you just know what you're getting. My numbers said bet Philly yesterday, game 7. Everything else said didn't. We stayed off the game, and that is how you beat the books. The games that you save that you don't bet are as important as the games that you bet and you win. So, hey, we'll bet. Well, when we see a spot, right now I don't see one. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. Again, game 1 is playoff Jimmy back for this series. Is Tatum going to take another couple of games off? We read them day by day. That's why I don't like to bet the series prices. Although, if I had to, I'd have to take the 2 dogs. Just that being said, we'll catch them day by day. A lot of baseball. We're in the middle of May. The dog days are yet to come. That's when we start to really kill it. So look forward to that.
Yep, guys. If you guys haven't yet, go check out the website, download the app, How to Beat the Bookie. Make sure you follow on all socials, like, subscribe to this video. Sean, let's have a good week. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.